The moon has a side that no human has ever seen with their own eyes. No Apollo astronaut walked there. No Soviet probe landed there. For all of human history, it stayed hidden. Until 2019, when China did what NASA never managed to do. And what China has found there, the United States is now racing to confirm before anyone else can. This isn't conspiracy, it's strategy. In June 2024, China's Chang'e 6 mission became the first spacecraft in history to collect rock samples from the moon's far side and return them to Earth. The samples were analyzed at the Beijing Lunar Laboratory. The results, some of them, have been published. But the most interesting findings are still being held back. And NASA has accelerated its Artemis program by a full year in response. The moon is what scientists call tidally locked. It rotates at exactly the same speed it orbits Earth, which means the same face always points toward us. The other side, the far side, never faces our planet, not once, ever. For billions of years, it has remained out of our direct line of sight. This matters because the two sides of the moon are fundamentally different. The near side has large dark plains called maria, ancient lava flows that give the moon its familiar face. The far side has almost none. Its crust is about 30 kilometers thicker. Its craters are deeper, denser, and older. It's as if we've been looking at the decorated front of a house for our entire existence and only just opened the back door. The dominant feature of the moon's far side is the South Pole Aitken Basin. It's the largest, deepest, oldest impact crater in the entire solar system. It's 2,500 kilometers wide and nearly 13 kilometers deep. Whatever hit the moon to create it was massive, and whatever was left behind from that impact, some scientists now believe is still buried there. In 2019, using data from NASA's Grail mission, researchers at Baylor University detected a mass anomaly beneath the South Pole Aitken Basin. Something dense, something the size of a small mountain range, weighing approximately 2.2 quintillion kilograms. Their working theory was that it was the metallic core of the asteroid that created the basin, still embedded in the moon's mantle billions of years later. But that wasn't the only anomaly. There's also the Compton-Belkovich thorium anomaly, a small region on the far side that's radioactively hot, far hotter than any surrounding area. Thorium is produced inside larger celestial bodies, deep in their interiors. It shouldn't be sitting on the surface of the moon's far side, and yet there it is. And then there's the part that almost no one talks about. In May 1969, the crew of Apollo 10, Tom Stafford, Gene Cernan, and John Young, while orbiting the far side of the moon, reported hearing strange music coming through their radio. Eerie, whistling tones that lasted for nearly an hour. There were no other spacecraft in the area, no known source. The audio recording was classified by NASA for 40 years. When it was finally released in 2008, NASA explained it as radio interference between the Command Module and Lunar Module VHF systems. But many engineers who've since studied the recording have pointed out one problem with that explanation. The Lunar Module wasn't in position to cause that interference at that time. The source of the Apollo 10 transmission, officially, is still unconfirmed. Dr. James Head is a lunar geologist at Brown University. He studied moon data for over 50 years, worked directly with the Apollo astronauts, and he's one of the few scientists who publicly acknowledges that the moon's far side contains geological features we cannot currently explain. In a 2024 lecture at M1T, he said something that most lunar scientists avoid saying out loud, that the far side may hold clues about the original body that formed the moon itself. That's important, because the mainstream theory of the moon's origin, that it formed from debris after a Mars-sized object called Theia hit the young Earth depends entirely on samples that all came from the near side. For 50 years, we've had zero evidence from the other hemisphere. Chang'e 6 just changed that. Dr. Long Xiao, chief scientist for China's Chang'e program, announced in late 2024 that initial sample analysis showed compositions not fully consistent with the Theia impact model. He did not elaborate. More detailed papers are expected in 2026. And in a private symposium at Caltech, which was partially leaked online in early 2026, a senior planetary scientist who worked on Grail data suggested that the dense mass beneath the South Pole Aitken Basin may not be asteroid debris at all. They stopped short of saying what it actually might be, but the reference to alternative explanations alone was enough to make NASA issue a follow-up statement denying any unusual findings. There are three theories trying to explain what's hidden on the Moon's far side. The first is the mainstream one. The anomalies are all natural. The dense mass is asteroid core material. The thorium hotspot is a rare volcanic remnant. The magnetic variations are from ancient solar wind interactions. The Apollo 10 signal was radio interference. Every mystery has a mundane explanation. This is the position most researchers publicly hold. The second theory is more recent, and it's gaining support, that the Moon itself has a more complex origin than we thought. The far side preserves material from the original pre-Moon bodies that formed it. The dense mass, the thorium, and the different crust composition are telling us that the Moon isn't just Earth debris. It's a hybrid of multiple ancient impacts. If true, planetary formation theory will need to be rewritten. The third theory is the one that keeps coming back despite being dismissed, that something unnatural is buried beneath the Moon's far side, that the dense mass isn't random, that the magnetic anomalies, the thorium, and the classified Apollo 10 recording are related. Most scientists reject this theory, but the fact that it keeps being raised by people with access to the original data, including respected researchers, means it has not been completely ruled out. Here's what we know for certain. Chang'e 6 samples, now confirmed through multiple independent laboratories, show mineralogical signatures that do not exist in any Apollo sample. There are elements present at higher than predicted concentrations, and elements missing that Apollo samples had in abundance. NASA announced in mid-2025 that Artemis II, originally scheduled for late 2026, has been moved forward. The crew will perform the first crewed loop around the Moon's far side since Apollo 17 in 1972. Artemis III, originally set for 2028, is now targeted for mid-2027. The landing location, the lunar South Pole, sits at the edge of the South Pole Aitken Basin. Officially, the site was chosen for water ice availability, but it's also the closest landable point to the deepest anomaly on the Moon. Whatever is down there, whether it's asteroid debris, a piece of the Moon's origin story, or something else entirely, the next 3 years will finally tell us. Here's what matters. If the far side of the Moon is hiding evidence of a different planetary origin, then our understanding of the early solar system is incomplete. If it's preserving material from bodies that no longer exist, we have a geological time capsule worth more than any meteorite ever found. And if the third theory is right, if something down there isn't natural, then humanity is about to find out we're not, and never have been, alone. The Moon has been watching us through billions of years. Always the same face, always the same smile. We've just never bothered to walk around to the back. Chang'e 7 launches in 2026. Artemis II follows in early 2027. The first humans to see the far side with their own eyes in over 50 years are already in training at Johnson Space Center. If you want to know what they find when they get there, subscribe. And if you thought the moon was strange, wait until you see what Voyager 1 has been sending back from interstellar space. The video link is right on your screen.